Alright, this video is going to teach you some very basic commands in Linux. I have my Ubuntu desktop for my virtual machine already installed, up and running, and I just want to teach you some very basic commands. We're doing this first in the desktop environment because when we go to the server environment, you won't be able to see anything that you're doing. There won't be like a visual representation or graphical user interface or GUI. So we're going to do it first in Ubuntu desktop, and then as the year progresses, we're going to transition into Ubuntu server. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is open up. We're going to go to Files right here, and right now it says I'm home. I want you to click on this button, Computer. Now this right here, what we see on Computer, this is considered our root directory. The root directory, you might think of that as like the C drive in Windows. So when we go to Computer and we click on the C drive, the C drive right here is equivalent to the root directory of Linux, okay? So Linux doesn't have drive letters like C drive, S drive, things like that. Linux doesn't have any of that. So the top root directory is this right here, and these are the common folders that can be found in the root directory. How would we access the root directory in the command prompt? Well, first we need to open up the terminal. So we click right here to search, and I type in TER, and I click on the terminal right here. And you are probably in your home. Let's see. You're probably right here. You can type in cd space slash. So cd is the directory. It stands for change directory. Now we do space and then slash, and that's a forward/, and then I hit enter. That / is the root directory. So that / right there, that's the root directory. Now when we type in ls, ls shows us what is within our root directory. So when I typed in ls right there, I'm seeing all of these folders. So notice we have all these folders right here. And then when I open up that terminal again and I typed in ls, I see all those folders there. If I wanted to cd into one of the folders or open up one of the folders, I would just type in maybe like cd home. And now I can just type in H, and then I hit the tab key, and it automatically fills. And it automatically fills because there's only one directory here that begins with the letter H. So when I type in H and then tab, Linux automatically just autofills for me. I'm going to hit enter, and now when I type in ls, I see there's a folder called greichelt. Let's see what that looks like. So what I basically did, that was the equivalent of me double-clicking on home and then seeing right here, greichelt right there, greichelt right there, okay? If I want to go into that directory, I would cd into G, hit tab, automatically fills it in for me, hit enter. So when I typed in this command, change directory into there, that's the equivalent of like double clicking on that. Now you can see these folders right there. When I go into the terminal and I type in ls, those are the exact same folders right there. So let's say, let me go back. I'm going to go into my, let's go into the documents. So I'm going to cd into documents right now. Now I'm going to hit, tab, cd into D. When I hit D and I hit tab, nothing fills in. It just kind of does this. That's because we have the desktop and documents, and downloads. So we need to type in a few more letters. DOC, now hit enter, and it'll automatically fill in. Let's type in ls. And when I type in ls, I get nothing. So basically what I did was I double-clicked on documents, and there is nothing in here. So let's learn a couple more commands using the terminal. The first command is mkdir, space, and then I'm just going to say test. So now what I did was I created a directory or a folder called test. If we minimize this, we see now in that documents that there is a folder called test. Now let's say we want to remove that. rmdir test. ls. It's gone. So that was the equivalent of what I did was I created a new folder. I called it test. Then I right-clicked on that folder and I went to, do I have a delete button on here? No, but I have a delete button right there. Delete, and I deleted that. So again, mkdir and then whatever folder name you want. So we can folder. And then when we type in ls, we will see that. If we wanted to go into that folder now, we can type in cd folder, hit enter, and now we're inside of it. That's the equivalent of double-clicking on folder right there. Okay, few more commands. So let's cd space dot dot. So cd space dot dot gets you, it goes one directory back. So right now I'm in the document/folder. I hit enter. Now when I type in ls, I go back out, and the equivalent is, notice I'm in folder. What I basically did was I just hit the back button there, and now I see that. Okay, so cd space dot dot, it goes back one directory. ls, it always shows us what's inside of that. So let's remove that directory, or remove that thing that I created, rmdir folder. Type in ls, it is gone. Perfect. Okay, so now that you kind of know some basic commands, here are the basic commands that I hopefully taught you. The root directory is a /, so you can cd space to the root directory, and now we're in our root directory. It's the equivalent of the C drive. CD stands for change directory. ls, it lists all of the different files and folders within that particular directory. If you want to go into like the media, cdm and then hit tab, and it'll automatically fill in for you. If you want to create a directory, mkdir and then whatever the name is. Now this is one thing that I didn't show you. When I went to create this directory, it's going to tell me permission is denied. The reason permission's denied when I tried to create this directory was because I am outside of my home folder. So if I go back into my home folder though, if I cd into home and then type in ls and then cd into my username, type in ls, here I can go mkdir test and I can make the test directory no problem. rmdir test, and that is gone. Alright, so that is it for this video. Hopefully this is some basic commands. What I'd like you to do now is take a open up your own VirtualBox, Ubuntu desktop, and I'm going to ask you to do a few things. So Notepad, let me open up Notepad here. So here's what you need to do. Number one, open up Ubuntu desktop. Okay. Number two, you need to open up the terminal. And then I want you to practice going to the root directory and practice using the commands cd, ls, and cd space dot dot. Okay. Then once you've kind of practiced that and gotten familiar with that and just kind of played around with it, let's see. Open up your documents folder. And I want you to do this using the terminal. Don't use, your GUI desktop. That's I'm sure that all of you can figure out a way to cheat and just right-click and make the directories. But if you don't learn how to navigate using the terminal now, when we get into Ubuntu Server, you're really going to struggle. So using terminal and create two folders. Create two folders, one with your first name and one with your last name. Okay. Once you've done that, take a screenshot of that. So again, how to take a screenshot, you hit print screen on your keyboard, which is right above insert, right next to F12. Click, you can drag across the entire thing, and then we can just go save as. I would save this probably to your U drive, and you can call this like, Ubuntu 1. Then I'm going to ask you to upload this, that particular file, to this Google Classroom assignment. So you're going to save that. Then you're going to have one more screenshot that I want you to take. Then delete the two folders. So again, the command that you want to use to make a directory or make a folder is mkdir. In order to remove a directory, it's rmdir, and then the folder name. You want to do space folder name. So now once you've created both of your directories with your first and last name, just delete/remove the folder with your first name using the rmdir command. Take a screenshot of this and post to the Google Classroom assignment. Okay, so that should be it for this. So we've learned some very basic commands. We learned that this right there, that /, that is considered the root. That's considered the root directory. CD is for changing the directory or changing the folder. LS shows contents of the folder. And let's see, what else did we learn? CD space .. goes back one directory. Okay, we also learned mkdir, that makes a folder, and then we learned rmdir, which deletes a folder. All right. So hopefully you're going to do those. You're going to create those two screenshots, upload those to this Google Classroom assignment. Hopefully you got this.